Welcome back, Ben with you again. We're going to be talking about assigning materials to faces. We want to put some stripes around the neck of our pin. So in this video we will introduce the Material Properties panel, tell you how to create and name materials. We'll be talking briefly about users of materials and how that impacts trying to delete them. And we'll also, of course, show you how to assign a material to a face. So the bit I want to bring your attention to is on the right hand side of Blender, over here, in this panel here. Now what is the panel? It's called Properties, you can see from the icon. So in the Properties panel, I want you to make it a little bit larger, and you can actually scroll left and right. There's a lot of little controls in the Properties panel. I'll show you. I can either hold down the middle mouse button, or I could scroll up and down, or for the sake of clarity, I'm just going to make the panel bigger for you guys. Okay. So click on Materials there. And what I want you to do to start with, so that this view looks like the slide, is I want you to go to where I'm hovering, at the top right-ish, where it says add a new material slot, because the materials panel slot's very, very sparse. There's no slots, there's nothing to be had. So you click plus, and now you're going to get a little bit more information. And then I want you to click new. So we've made a slot, just an empty slot for a material on the pin. Now click new. And now you're going to get to this view, which can look a little bit overwhelming, especially if you scroll down. There's a lot of stuff there. I just want to focus above this line here for now. So I've got a slide for you which will help you to focus your eye in on what's going on at the very top of this materials panel. So we've already done the thing at the top, which is we've selected the material tab. Next thing you see is a breadcrumb. It basically tells you where we are, what are we dealing with. We're looking at the scene, that's that first little icon. Then the cube is the object that we're dealing with, and then we're looking at the materials of the cube. So it just reminds you where you are and what you're working on. The next list is a list of applied materials, or it's at least a list of material slots for this particular object. So now the pin has one material slot. And we did that on the right hand side with the add, remove, copy, paste buttons. And then you've got another little slither along the bottom, which we're going to be using a lot, which is where you actually manage the material. So let's dive back into Blender and take a look at how this works. So here we made a material slot, and you can make your material slot panel bigger if you like, by dragging like this. And we created a new one and it called it material. Well, let's call it pin. So click into here, I'm highlighting, and just type pin and return. And now you'll see that we have a material called pin. Okay, now there's another type of material we're going to want on the pin, of course, which is going to be for the stripes around the neck. So let's go ahead and make a second slot. Now you get a simplified interface. You need to make a second material. There it is. Again, it calls it material. I know we're going to call it stripe. So now we have two materials, pin and stripe. Okay, and if you click here to the left of the word pin or stripe, you'll see browse materials. You can also see those two materials. This is like a library of materials that you could pick up, and you can actually apply these to other objects in the scene if you want later. There's some other more advanced controls over here we're not going to worry about for now. What we do need to do is give our stripe a different color. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see under diffuse, which is the color that it scatters off in all directions, it's currently white. Let's make it whatever you like, let's say red. Okay, so we have two different materials. They're both simple diffuse materials. You can see the preview here. One is just a kind of very boring grey colour, and the other is a slightly more interesting red colour. Okay, fantastic. So what I want you to do then is to go into edit mode, because now that we've set up our materials for our pin, we cannot apply them to individual faces until we are inside edit mode. So let's go into edit mode. Alright, and then what I want you to do once you're in edit mode is I'm going to challenge you to actually create the two stripes around the neck of the pin. I'm going to choose a couple of face loops, this one here and maybe one a little bit further up. But I'm going to leave it to you to actually do this for yourself. I just want to bring your attention to one more thing, which is now that you've entered edit mode, three new buttons have come up here in the panel on the right hand side under the material slots. You have assign, select and deselect. So assign assigns the currently selected material in the slots above to the geometry that you have selected in the scene view. The select button selects the entire thing, so the pin, and deselect would just deselect the entire object, i.e. the pin. So if you wanted, for example, to apply the pin material to the whole object, then you would click select, which would select the whole pin, click on the word pin, and then click assign. You'll actually find that's already happened by default. When you create your first material, it gets assigned to the entire object. So when you're going to make this stripe, you're going to need to select the face loop geometry by doing that in the 3D view. Then you're going to need to select the stripe and then click the assign button. So those three buttons only come up in edit mode. So select a face loop for one stripe. Hint, you can select a face loop by holding down the Alt key in edit mode and then using face select. So you've seen that in the previous video with Mikey. Assign the stripe material to that face loop and then repeat again for another face loop to create your second stripe. So basically make 2 stripes on your pin. Go ahead, pause the video and try that now. Cool, welcome back. So let's take a look. A few things to check before we go. Firstly, you do need to be in edit mode here because we are dealing at a face level, not just an object level. Second thing is I want to make sure you are in Blender Render here. You'll get some very different menus if you're not. Okay, fantastic. So we need to select a face loop. So we go into face select mode down the bottom of our screen. And then we hold down Alt. And then we click on one of the faces. And there you go. We get a face loop selected. Now, with the correct material selected over here, you click Assign. Boom. There we go. Now to do it for the other one, it's the same job. You hold down, you right click, face loop is selected, click Assign. Perfect. Look at that. We have stripes on our pin. Now you can preview this in various ways. You can come out into object mode if you wish. And then this is where you can use the various different rendering modes for the viewport. You could say wireframe. Now in wireframe, of course, you're not going to see any of the materials. That's the whole point of wireframe. You could go to solid colored. Now this is just a very fast preview mode for use inside the viewport here for when you have complex models, and you do see your colors there, which is cool. You could go to texture, which is similar, but it's actually using the scene lighting now. It's using this lamp, which is why you only see it lit from one side. Or you could go to rendered, let's just leave it with that, and that would show you what the final Blender render output may look like. But for now we are just considering solid, which we have been all along. We are staying with default lighting, and we're just trying to get different faces, different colors, and we've done it. We've got a whole ring of faces in red, which is pretty cool. So congratulations with that. Do feel free to customize these things if you want. You can always click back onto the pin. You can go back, say, into the pin's material and play with its diffuse color here. You have a vile different color for the pin if you wish. You can also do the same for the stripe. And if you want to get a little bit more adventurous, we're going to explain all this later in the course, but if you want to play with things like specularity and some of these other things, not going to do any harm, you're welcome to go and explore. But for now, the important thing is that you know how to put like a white color or whatever color you like on the back of the pin, and then a different color on those edge, those face loops around there. So well done, you've got a colored pin, and we'll see you soon.